Good morning. It is Tuesday, March the 18th of 2025. Overcast skies in downtown Wausau. At our studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street, a little bit warmer than we've seen recently. Temperatures currently stands at 36 degrees. I am Chad Holmes. It is the Tuesday edition of the Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. You can also join us by going to YouTube, youtube.com. Go to the 98.9 WXCO channel, become a subscriber, and then each day you'll be able to see this program live right there. And also on our channel, you can go back and watch and listen to previous shows as well. So that's youtube.com and the 98.9 WXCO channel. We'd like you to be part of the program. You can call or text us. Same number, 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. If there's something we are talking about, if there's something we're not talking about, we would love to hear from you. Coming up, going to talk a little bit about Tom Tiffany being in the area today. And I want to talk a little bit about the person that he's appearing with. As coming up today, Tom Tiffany will be here in central Wisconsin at the Hilton Garden Inn, Rib Mountain, at 12 noon, an event. He'll be teaming up with Moms for Liberty and also somebody named Riley Gaines. And Riley Gaines is a former swimmer, and she was one of the people that started the whole idea of the bans on trans athletes. And again, there's not many trans athletes, but boy, Riley Gaines has made herself quite a living becoming the victim of trans athletes. I'm going to talk a little bit about her and the idea of who Tom Tiffany is serving when he appears at events like this one. And with people like Riley Gaines and Moms for Liberty, it says exactly who Tom Tiffany is and exactly who Tom Tiffany serves. And also, again, talk about a little bit of an event coming up later in the week that here in Wausau, coming up on Thursday at 12 noon. There's going to be a meeting on the sidewalk in front of Congressman Tom Tiffany's Wausau office at 2620 Stewart Avenue. So again, it's Where's Representative Tom Tiffany, an event by Ashland to Wausau Indivisible. And we'll have more on that coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. Also want to discuss a little bit these stories that keep coming out. And one this week occurred in USA Today over the weekend. First appeared online Sunday, then appeared in the USA Today yesterday concerning the young married couple from Wisconsin where the wife was taken away and sent off to another concentration camp. And then we're going to call it that because that's what they are. They are concentration camps that Donald Trump and his administration have set up in terms of trying to deport people. And another big aspect of this story, again, is the fact that the husband, the Wisconsin native who married the Peruvian woman, voted for Donald Trump. And we've seen a lot of these stories since the election where either somebody who worked in the federal government lost their job and then all of a sudden it came out, hey, he voted for Donald Trump, and he thought that when Donald Trump was talking about cutting all these positions, it wasn't going to be his position because he's doing a good job. It'll be all those other wasteful government positions. And then the same thing with the deportation. You see a lot of folks who are getting deported or family members getting deported. And you hear, well, I voted for Donald Trump, but I thought they were just going to deport the bad ones. I want to kind of delve a little bit deeper into that because these stories are starting to annoy me a little bit. Not to say that folks who voted for Trump then deserve to have these things happen. No, but at the same time, there are consequences when you vote. We are expected when we vote to be informed enough on the issues and the candidates to make good decisions on who represents us, whether it's at city council, whether it's on school board, whether it's in Madison in the state assembly or state senate, governor of this state, senator, congressperson, president of the United States. Expected to be something that you take seriously, that you actually know who these people are and their beliefs, because the idea that they weren't told. There were a lot of folks, and I will say that there were a lot of folks on this radio network in the run-up to November that talked about Project 2025, and almost everything that's been done so far came right out of that blueprint. So the idea of, this person who voted for Donald Trump, this is not what they voted for. I got a few different thoughts on that. So we're going to talk about that coming up a little bit later on in the program as well. At the end of the show, we will have our daily history lesson, including a look at some of the famous events that occurred on this date in history. Also, celebrity birthdays, special events being acknowledged here today, and a whole bunch more. And we'll end things as well with our number for the day quiz, where we give Ian Welsh 3 choices, 2 of which are incorrect. 1 is correct. He is 0 for 1 so far this week, so he's got a little work to do as we get into the second day of the work week. So that's coming up at the end of the program. Glad you could be with us here today. And across the way is Mr. Ian Welsh. Good morning, Ian.
Good morning, Chad.
I know that you have some good news because yesterday I was on social media and I saw on Facebook the listing of the cast for Anastasia, and I was looking through it, and then all of a sudden I do see a name that was very familiar to me. And what did you find out yesterday?
Well, some very exciting news as I got a cast in the show of Anastasia, and not only that, but I have a named part as well. I'll be playing the character, and I hope I'm saying this right, Count Hippolytov. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm sure I'll get it.
Well, the thing about it is the name of the character for you, I imagine, sometimes you have to introduce yourself, but do you ever say the name in the show? Have you looked at that script? So it may not even matter if you could.
I haven't gotten the script yet.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't know.
So you may not even have to say the name during the course of the show. So that may be not even a problem. But congratulations. I saw the listing. I mean, you were talking about the fact that so many people did come out, audition for the show. It looks like it's one that really did catch the fancy of a lot of thespians here in the Wausau area. But
really
is that a role that you were targeting when you first started to think about being part of the show when you auditioned? Yeah. Was this a part that you were thinking, hey, this is one that I would like to be, or this is one that I might fit well with?
Actually, this is one I hadn't even considered because it wasn't on the list of roles you could sign up for on the audition sheet. The role I was trying out for and was hoping for was the role of the villain in the show. His name was Gleb Vaganov. But I can honestly say that after my audition, I did my best. I have no regrets, and honestly, I am very grateful for getting a part in the show, and I'm going to do my best to do that character justice.
Fantastic. Again, I know it's very important to you.
The cast list is just so many incredibly talented people. I was checking the cast list. It's a cast of 55 people, so it's a lot of people. And The nice thing is that there's actually two different casts for like for well, there's a seven shows in all, and for four of them they're having one group of actors play certain roles, and then for the other three shows they're having different actors who audition for those roles as well, play those parts as well. So it's kind of like what's the word? Alternative casting. It's like we're switching out for
Hmm.
every other performances to give everybody a good chance to shine and play a part on the stage. But overall, I was very impressed with the cast list. And I think we're going to put together a truly incredible show. And not to mention the fact that after I got the email from Brenton about the cast list, he, he said that this year that Wausau Community Theater is going to be celebrating its 90th anniversary.
Hmm.
So it's a very big deal and a good way to, you know, way to really honor that celebration. But rehearsals won't be starting for a couple of weeks yet. I mean, the first rehearsal won't be until April 14th. So we got a little bit of a break in between. But in the meantime, or waiting for that, I know that Sherwin's Theater is going to have their let's see, oh, their spring show coming up later in April. The Enchanted Bookshop musical, and tickets are on sale for those at the I believe it's at the Veniga Theater. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize. I can correct that. That's not true. But also, River and Woods, a theater company, is doing their show 9 to 5 on the week of April 17th, 18th, and 19th. So there's plenty of theater shows coming up if you want to, you know, be a part of these shows, and it should be a lot of fun.
Also, Wausau West High School has their theater performance of All My Sons coming up even sooner on April 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th at the Wausau West Auditorium. So, again, if you're somebody that is a fan of the theater, would love to go to the theater, there's plenty of opportunities coming up in the next month or so. Time is 8:18. We got ourselves some weather coming in, and we're going to get all the details on what looks to be a significant snowstorm. We'll be talking to our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot, coming up next here on 98.9 WXCO.
There was something wrong, and a feeling that feels so strong about you.
Good morning, Brittney.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Well, tomorrow's the big.
Storms.
Tomorrow's the day when we find out how much we're actually going to be getting.
Right.
Hopefully, it's not a lot.
I like crazy weather though.
It does make it more entertaining.
It does.
don't be shy, because you will not believe your eyes. She's right here behind the glass. You're gonna like her, cause she's got class.
And welcome back. Chad Holmes Show 98.9 WXCO. Online at WXCO.FM. Mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO. And on the Civic Media app. And again, you can also join us at YouTube.com. Go to the 98.9 WXCO channel and be able to see a video stream of what we're up to each and every weekday from 8 until 10 a.m. As I look outside, another calm start. In fact, there's a tree that's right outside the window here at our downtown studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street, and I don't see the branches moving one iota at this point. Very, very calm. Some overcast skies, mild temperatures at 36 degrees, but that will change in the next 24 hours or so. In fact, already the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm watch that goes into effect tomorrow afternoon. And the person that's been keeping a very tight eye on all the weather, where is this heavy snow going to ultimately end up, the heaviest snow? Will it be here in central Wisconsin? Will it be in northwest Wisconsin? Let's get the latest information from our meteorologist, Brittney Merlot. Brittney, good morning.
Good morning. About time we're in that winter storm watch. I was like, wait a minute, we're just gonna not have Marathon County in part of that? It's
Oh,
hitting. It's gonna get us, guys.
I know you've been keeping a close eye on it. What are you seeing right now? Is it a case where we're going to be at the edge of that storm at this point? Could it be more heavy snow here, or is it going to be to the northwest? What are you seeing in terms of some of the models you've been looking at?
Yes, the latest model run just came out and it's got Marathon County absolutely split. So, right here in Wausau, we are right on the edge of either we're going to get hit with really hard or we're really not at all. So, what it looks like right now, South Marathon County really picking up about 2 to 5 inches of snowfall. And then Northern Marathon County looking to pick up anywhere from a half of a foot to a foot of snowfall. So, right here in Wausau, I think we should expect about 4 to 7 inches, and that's what we're probably going to get. I mean, definitely have the chance for a little bit more, or we could see a little bit less, but I would say 4 to 7 inches is our safe spot, is what I'm going to go ahead and forecast for tomorrow afternoon and into those evening hours. So how it's all going to go down and how it's going to happen is we're going to start to see those winds get breezy this afternoon once again. It'll become even cloudier. Those clouds will thicken. Winds will probably gust out of the east up to about 25 miles per hour today. So yes, we are still in a high fire danger. Yesterday alone, 777 acres burned in Wisconsin. Green Lake County had a big island fire, taking 745 of those acres. So 15 wildfires yesterday. Be careful out there. Watch your equipment for sparks. Don't toss that cigarette butt. And obviously don't have any bonfires or debris burning, because that's the number one cause for this. So still comfortable today. Highs will reach into those low 50s, becoming breezy. And then rain will roll in overnight. It'll definitely be falling early tomorrow morning. And then in the morning hours, kind of late morning, this is when the switch is going to start to happen. We have chances for some sleet and freezing rain during that time. This is when the temperatures are going to start to fall a little bit. Things are going to start to ice up, and then it flips over to snowfall by the afternoon, right around noon or so. This is going to ramp up very quickly. It's going to be a heavy, wet, slushy type of snow, the one that's a little bit harder and heavier to clear. And it's also going to make those intersections very, very slippery. So this is going to start again around noon, continuing into the evening, probably winding down around midnight or so. And again, expect about a good half a foot here into Wausau with that winter storm watch issued. And then for Thursday, the good news is the sun comes out. So it's going to start working on melting a little bit. Temperatures will climb slightly above freezing to the upper 30s. And then for Friday, we will get to near 50 degrees. It will be sunny. That will definitely take care of the snowfall that we picked up. And then we are looking at some night showers rolling through Friday. We get a little break on Saturday, but let me tell you, Sunday, another snowstorm is headed towards Wisconsin, and it's a significant one, but it does want to hit further south. But I will say it still scrapes us at the moment. So a 1-2 punch. One's tomorrow, two's on Sunday.
So the first one will be sort of to the north. The second one will be to the south.
Yep.
And we'll be
Yep.
sort of in the middle of all this.
We get a little bit of it all. Yeah. Oh
What is
gosh,
the
spring in Wisconsin, isn't it wild?
what is the most snow expected in this storm? Where is there an area of the state that's going to get even like a foot of snow in this little winter slash spring snowstorm?
Yeah, well, anywhere from honestly Eau Claire to Rhinelander looks like we could get the potential for a foot of snowfall. That is the heaviest track right there in that winter storm watch. But I will say, I would say right around Lake Superior and towards maybe Ashland, Ironwood, Hurley area. I think with that lake effect and those winds blowing off of the Lake Superior, they're really going to see probably about a foot and a half, maybe
Hmm.
2 feet into some spots.
Hmm.
So lake effect really enhancing it. And I also think lake effect's going to start to pull off the bay and Green Bay as well and kind of get the Fox Valley a little bit more than they're thinking too.
All right. Well, what are the details here, especially for today, before we get to that snow tomorrow?
Mostly cloudy, highs in those low 50s, becoming breezy, a high fire danger out there. Rain rolls in overnight tonight, mixes with sleet early in the morning, and then turns to snow by the afternoon. Again, a good 4 to 7 inches here into Wausau. Less further south in Marathon County, near a foot north into Marathon County. That winter storm watch starts at 1 p.m. tomorrow and goes until 1 a.m. Thursday morning. And then we'll have some sunshine behind it until the next one.
All righty. We'll get ready. Ready.
Ooh,
Big weather keeps
here we
you.
go.
I can see you're excited. Big weather stuff going on.
I am.
Hey, no, it's all we expected this time of year. If we didn't get one or two of these in March, it'd be weird.
It would be. I
That's
agree.
right.
Thanks, Brittany.
Bye,
You're welcome,
Brittany.
guys. Have a good day.
That is our Brittany Merlot. Right now, fair skies, 36 degrees here in downtown Wausau. Winds out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. The dew point is 23. Relative humidity of 59%. The barometer at 29.76 inches and a visibility of 10 miles. Again, the winter storm watch does not come into effect for Marathon County until tomorrow. Tomorrow at what time exactly? What the heck? Da. Starts Wednesday afternoon. So the winter storm watch does not get underway till Wednesday afternoon, and then it will hit. So we'll keep an eye on that. And of course, Brittany and the entire weather team will keep us up to speed right here on 98.9 WXCO.
Yep.
We have an information update coming up next with Ian Welsh. I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Soft and white. There's ourselves within the night.
Hello there, this is James.
Melissa,
Chad.
and Seth, inviting you to come work with us. Civic Media is looking for a full-time sales professional to work with existing and new broadcast and digital media clients.
we're a fast-growing company that offers competitive wages, benefits, a relaxed working environment that focuses on quality of life and includes a team of support to reach our shared goals.
Join us in continuing what we have done for 80 years. Be a part of the community, put into the community, celebrate community.
Find out more by contacting Chuck Gennaro at 715-935-8030 or email chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. All inquiries are confidential. Civic Media Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer, and we look forward to you joining us.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for road work or closures on your route. Know before you go with 511 Wisconsin, sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
I can see that it won't be long. You grow old and you keep holding on. You know you've changed and you're worse than life. That's something you can't deny.
And welcome back, Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Again, you can join us by calling or texting at 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. Love to hear what's on your mind as we get towards the middle to end point of March. As time is flying, we are 2 weeks away, exactly 2 weeks away from the election, the spring election. And of course, make your plans, because it is a significant election. In fact, it's so significant that just yesterday, Donald Trump Jr. was in Wisconsin. Yep, DJT Jr. made an appearance and campaigned with Brad Schimmel. So obviously thinking that it's somewhat important. And yes, it is a very important election. In fact, early voting begins today, begins here today on March the 18th. Check your voter registration status, find your polling place, and make a plan to be a voter this spring. You can learn about all ways to register to vote ahead of Wisconsin's April 1st spring election and what you need to register in person on Election Day at myvote.wi.gov. That's myvote.wi.gov. From local to statewide races, make your plan to be a voter between now and Tuesday, April the 1st. That's myvote.wi.gov. And of course, we will keep you up to speed on what is going on in these very important election races throughout the days here on Civic Media. Great interviews and a whole bunch more with the candidates for the state superintendent of public instruction, for the state Supreme Court. And then, of course, there's always those local races. We talked quite a bit yesterday about the Wausau School District referendum. There is a race for village president in the village of Weston. There are school board races throughout the area. A lot on the ballot, really, for a spring election. So be prepared. Do a little studying and be ready to vote 2 weeks from today. And then I don't think there's really much else in terms of elections. I'm gonna have to double check that, because you never know. But I think that once we get past the spring elections, I think we're going to finally be able to take truly a deep breath, because after the November elections, you think, oh,
Yeah.
we went through the entire 2024. We can take a step back. Basically, we had a little time until the start of the new year. And then all of a sudden, the state Supreme Court race and the state superintendent of public instruction races sort of hit us hard with a lot of spending in terms of commercials and flyers in the mail and all that good stuff.
Indeed.
So maybe we can step away, have a summer where we don't have to worry so much about in terms of making worrying about avoiding commercials like we tend to do, I think, these days. So
Yeah, that would
again,
be nice.
2 weeks to go for that. So make sure you get ready to vote on Tuesday, April the 1st. And I don't think it's a coincidence. It's April Fool's Day. So hopefully the voters will not be the fools. But
Yeah, say that's pretty good timing.
it is pretty good timing. I'll say that much. Wanted to, again, talk a little bit about Tom Tiffany and what he's doing today. Because, again, you have to look for priorities. Priorities. What are the priorities for the people that are in government? And apparently, the Republican Party has decided that transgender sports and just transgender issues are something they want to talk about all the time. And the thing about it is, there are like a couple of handfuls of transgender athletes throughout the country. It is not a big thing in terms of the numbers, but it's more than just that. It's about, frankly, the hatred. And I just get really upset when you target different people. And these transgendered athletes specifically, and transgendered people more broadly, have been targeted by hateful folks on the right. And Tom Tiffany makes decisions on where he appears and who he appears with on stage. And today, he has made the decision to appear here in the Wausau area. Tom Tiffany is appearing at 12 noon today at the Hilton Garden Inn in Rib Mountain in an event sponsored by Moms for Liberty and featuring a woman named Riley Gaines. And Riley Gaines has made a nice little career of being one of the leaders in the push to ban transgendered athletes. In fact, Riley Gaines was a swimmer, and she made one of the first big stinks about having to compete against a transgendered person.
Oh, dear.
And she has made a pretty good career of this. And that's one of the things that, again, annoys me just a little bit, because she didn't make a great career out of her athletic endeavors. And she is like Kyle Rittenhouse. Remember Kyle Rittenhouse? He was the one that shot and killed a couple of folks in southeast Wisconsin. He became a hero of the right, being brought all over the country to appear at different events, make a pretty good living that way.
Shameful.
It is. But now you have someone like Riley Gaines, who travels the country, is now known as a conservative activist. In fact, I'm going to read, again, you can't take everything on Wikipedia as gospel, but this just sort of describes who this person is.
Okay.
Riley Marie Gaines Barker, that's her married name, still known as Riley Gaines, is an American conservative political activist and former swimmer known for campaigning against the participation of trans women in women's sports. She competed for she was a good swimmer. She was a 12-time NCAA All-American at the University of Kentucky.
Okay.
Before retiring from competition and focusing on political activism. And since 2023, she has hosted the weekly Outkick and Fox Nation podcast, Gains for Girls. So again, she has been an advocate against the inclusion of transgender women in the women's division of sports. She has protested at the NCAA convention. She has been all over the country doing this political activism. And again, here in this country, you have the right to do it. But she's making a pretty darn good living off of this. And basically off of targeting transgendered athletes and transgendered people generally. But going back to Tom Tiffany, because this is the event today at 12 noon here in the Wausau area at Rib Mountain. Tom Tiffany could be meeting here because right now Congress is in recess. He could be hosting town hall meetings, talking to the people who have a lot of questions right now about Social Security and other government programs. A lot of questions about what is going on with DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, led by Elon Musk. A lot of questions about what has been happening in the past 2 months since this administration took over. But he's not doing that. He has decided that instead of hosting some town halls around the 7th Congressional District, he has decided that he is going to go to Rib Mountain today, Hilton Garden Inn, 12 noon, join up with the Moms for Liberty and Riley Gaines, and again, target transgendered people. And when you look at, again, every issue is important to different folks. And transgendered participation in sports is obviously important to people like Riley Gaines and others. But I do think that this is more of a political stick that they feel like is effective. They don't care about the people involved. They care about gaining a few points in the polls. But again, Tom Tiffany needs to start serving the people who voted him into office and the people who didn't vote him into office. Because when you are a congressman, you are not just representing the people who voted for you. You are representing every person in the 7th Congressional District. And that means coming out and speaking to them. And that's why I think what is happening on Thursday is actually important.
It is.
Odds are Tom Tiffany will not be in his office here in Wausau on Thursday. He'll be doing whatever Tom Tiffany does. But according to a posting on the Facebook page of the Marathon County Democratic Party, where's Representative Tom Tiffany? Well, we know where he is today. He is standing shoulder to shoulder with Riley Gaines and Moms for Liberty. But folks want to be able to talk to Tom Tiffany, to be able to ask him questions. And as I said yesterday, even if the questions are hard, if you're worth your weight in terms of your position, you should be able to go up there and explain what is happening in a way that even if people disagree with you, they can understand. You know, it's not about always agreeing. It's also sometimes about disagreeing. But if you have the conversation, you can still disagree and understand the issues better. When Tom Tiffany decides not to host any of these events and tries to dodge the folks asking some difficult questions, and then you have to start thinking outside the box. So there's going to be a meeting on the sidewalk in front of Congressman Tom Tiffany's Wausau office at 2620 Stewart Avenue on Thursday at 12 noon. According to the posting, bring your signs, come as you are. There will be a couple of speakers there as well. Please be peaceful and courteous. Again, it's not about going there and causing trouble. It's about getting answers, learning more, because there's a lot of questions. In fact, coming up a little bit later on, there's a story that I want to kind of share. In a Trump district, voted 60% for Trump, there are scared people concerning Social Security who want answers, and they're not getting answers. But it's time to let Tom Tiffany know we want some answers. We want to know what's happening in Washington. We want to know what you think about these potential cuts to earned benefits. So, again, come out Thursday, March 20th, this Thursday at 12 noon at 2620 Stewart Avenue in front of Congressman Tiffany's Wausau office, and just be there. Let Tom Tiffany know that you need to talk to the folks here in the 7th Congressional District, not just to the folks that on the far right of the political spectrum that you want to go hang out with later today. Time is 8:48. Overcast skies here in downtown Wausau. 36 degrees is the temperature. With Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Oh, joyfully, oh, playfully watching me. But then they send me away, teach me how to be sensible, logical, oh, responsible, practical. And then they show me a world where I could be so dependable, oh, clinical, oh, intellectual, cynical.
strip, in the outskirts and in the fringes, in the corner, out of the grip. If you want me, you can find me left of center, off of the strip, in the outskirts and in the fringes, in the corner, out of the grip. When they ask me, what are you looking at? I always answer, nothing much, not much. I think they know that I'm looking at them. I think they think I must be out of touch, but I'm only in the outskirts and in the fringes, on the edges.
Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app, and also at YouTube.com on the 98.9 WXCO portion of the app. So again, YouTube.com, the 98.9 WXCO channel on the app. So again, you can join us, 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. Is there somebody on the line?
We did have a caller who was asking what time was the event that Tom Tiffany was going at, because they wanted to go themselves.
Today's event, you mean?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that is at 12 noon today. So again, if you're out there tuned
That's
in,
what I told them.
12 noon. So say hello to Representative Tiffany if you head out there. Tomorrow, we have the penultimate episode for the season of the Big High School Sports Show.
Oh, yeah.
Presented by K5 Construction. We have the show this week, and then our final show will be next week before we take a break until August and the start of the new season.
Where does the time go?
Well, it just keeps on flying right on by. We do the show from mid-August until the end of the winter sports season. Of course, this week is the WIAA boys basketball state tournament. So we will go through the state tournament, talk about what happens next week, and then wrap things up until we get back at it this summer. But tomorrow night, 6 till 8 p.m., knock on wood, we got all that snow coming in. Hopefully it's lighter than what Brittney was talking about, from 4 to 7 inches. So make it a little easier. But the plan is still to be here tomorrow night, 6 till 8. Big High School Sports Show presented by K5 Construction here on 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. We'll be joined by Wausau West senior Claire Kalmus. She is a multi-sport outstanding, almost legendary performer over the last 4 years. She's been a member of the Wausau West volleyball team in the fall. Until this year, she was a member of the Central Wisconsin Storm, but she couldn't play this year. We're going to talk a little bit about the difficulty of missing that season with her tomorrow night. And also, she's getting ready for softball season. Yesterday was the first day of high school softball practice. And Claire plays softball for Wausau West. She is going to be playing college softball at the University of Wisconsin. So heading to Division I Madison to play college softball. So we'll talk about the preparation for being ready for that with Claire Kalmus. She'll be joining us right at the top of the show, in fact, tomorrow, because they have practice in the evening. So have to have her come in at 6:06 so you can get back and get ready for practice at 7 o'clock over at Wausau West. But she'll be with us right at the top of the show. Then after that, we'll be joined by Merrill High School boys basketball coach Troy Pieper. We'll talk about their season, but also talk about the state tournament, because last year we had him on, and him and Jeff were going back and forth in terms of previewing the boys basketball state tournament, which starts on Thursday night and goes Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And some teams to keep an eye on here from Central Wisconsin, with Wausau East, part of the Division II state semifinals on Friday. And then Marshfield, also from the Wisconsin Valley Conference, playing in the Division I state semifinals on Friday night. So lots to talk about when it comes to the boys basketball state tournament, and we'll break it down with Merrill boys basketball coach Troy Pieper at 6:30. So that's tomorrow night, 6 until 8 p.m., the Big High School Sports Show. And again, so much fun talking to the student athletes and the coaches, and hopefully you've enjoyed this full season as well here on 98.9 WXCO. Also, did you know that today, March the 18th, was the first regular season Major League Baseball game?
Oh,
You probably didn't
I
know
did
that.
not know that, actually.
Because what happened is, and what they've done the last couple of years, two teams go off to Japan to play 2 games.
Wow.
And what they do is they play 2 games, they count as regular season games, and then they come back, play some preseason games before the semi-official start of the season, where everybody gets underway in just over a week. But the Cubs and the Dodgers are right now in Tokyo, and very early this morning, our
Interesting.
time, they started off. It was like at 5 in the morning, I think, and they just
Yeah.
got done with the first game of the season. And for those of us who are not Cubs fans, good news: the Dodgers beat the Cubs by a score of 4-1. So the Dodgers, the defending World Series champions, off to a 1-0 start. The Cubs, who are expected right now, a lot of folks are saying they're the team to beat in the National League Central, even though the Brewers have been the division champs the last couple of years. They dropped to 0-1. So Dodger pitching was outstanding. The Cubs only had 3 hits in the entire game, but the Dodgers beat the Cubs 4-1. They'll do it again tomorrow. And then they talk about a long road trip. They have to
Indeed.
fly all the way from Arizona, where they host spring training games, all the way to Tokyo, and now they have to go all the way back to spring training for a few days, play a few more games, and then get ready for the rest of the regular season. So,
How about
but
that?
Dodgers 4, Cubs 1. Also, for folks who are sports fans, tonight is actually the start of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. They call them the first four. The first four because the teams that just barely got into the tournament start things off. And North Carolina against San Diego State's the big one. And also Alabama State and St. Francis as well. Another hour to go here on 98.9 WXCO.
Trying to show he can't be bought. Who takes every kind of people to make what life's about? Yeah. All I need is a TV show, that and the radio. Down on my luck again, down on my luck again. I can show you some of the people in my life. I can show you some of the people in my life. It's driving me mad. Just another way of passing the day.
Good morning. It is Tuesday, March the 18th of 2025. 38 degrees here in downtown Wausau. Mostly cloudy skies. We are downtown Wausau at our 98.9 WXCO studios at the corner of Washington Street and North 3rd Street. Tuesday edition of the Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO and on the Civic Media app. Also, again, you can join us by going to YouTube.com and go to the 98.9 WXCO channel, become a subscriber there, be able to see the stream of our broadcast, see me wave at the camera. And you can also go back and watch previous editions of this program as well. But go to youtube.com and the 98.9 WXCO channel, subscribe to it, and be able to see the program right there. Also, you can join us by giving us a call or giving us a text, and the number is the same at 715-382-9297. That's 715-382-9297. Again, if there's something that we are talking about that you want to respond to, if there's something we are not talking about that you think we should be talking about, we'd love to hear about that as well. Again, that's 715-382-9297 to join us here on the program. And across the way is the person that later in the show will once again be tested. As we always wrap up our program by having a daily history lesson, talking about some of the famous events that occur on this date in history, talk about some of the celebrity birthdays going on, talk about some of the special events being acknowledged on this date, and then we always finish it up, the last couple of minutes of the program, around 9:56 or so, by having the number for the day quiz.
Yes.
And we make Ian think, and normally he thinks very hard about it.
I do.
We give him 3 choices, one of which is our number for the day, and then 2 of which are wrong. So based on the math, he should get 1 out of 3 correct, which is 33%. So the goal is to be above 33%. That's our number one goal, the first goal. And that would give you a passing grade. If you're above 33%, and based on a full week of shows, 5 shows in a week, that would be 2 out of 5, which is 40%, which would be good enough to give you a passing grade. But if you want to get 1 out of 5 or 0 out of 5, that's below 33%. 1 out of 5, of course, is 20%. And 0 out of 5. What is 0 out of 5? That would be...
I didn't even show up for the test.
That would be 0%.
Yeah.
So you always have to get at least 2 right. But we have higher expectations than that. We want Ian to get at least a winning week then. When that's more right than wrong. 3 out of 5.
Yep.
And then, of course, your best all-time week is 4 out of 5. You've done that, I think, 3 different times.
3 times, yep.
And you're still looking for that perfect 5 out of 5 week. So
yeah,
but
still working on that one.
That will be coming up later on in the program. I guess we should, again, properly introduce.
Good morning, Chad.
Would you like to know what the topic today is for the number for the day quiz?
Yes, I would.
All right.
What is today's topic?
I mentioned in the last segment that tonight is the start of the NCAA men's basketball tournament, March
right.
Madness. A couple of games tonight, a couple of games tomorrow. Then it gets crazy on Thursday with action starting like at 11 in the morning, going right till like midnight at night.
Oof,
This,
it's a lot
but
of games.
they have what's called the first 4 games tonight. It means that the final 4 teams that got into the tournament, and also the 4 lowest seeded teams in the tournament. So there's 8 teams total. They play basically to get into the main bracket. 2 of the games involve teams that will be a 16 seed, and 2 of the games involve teams that will be an 11 seed. And that gets underway with 2 games tonight and then 2 games tomorrow. And then, of course, again, the real madness begins on Thursday with an incredible weekend of activity coming up. But our topic for today is the NCAA tournament. So that is our topic. So it involved the NCAA tournament, and that will be coming up at the end of the show. That's a wide topic because there's so much that can go within it, but I don't want to get too specific. Let you just sort of stew on that for the next 45 minutes or so.
That's good. Yeah.
And again, in the first hour, if you missed it in our first segment, we always keep an eye on what Ian is up to. The man is, he's up. What is the number of productions you've been involved with up to this point? Not counting anything in the future. But
not counting anything in the future.
How many have you been involved with?
All in the past. I've been doing this since I was 12. Then I kept the record. I've been doing this for 18 years now. And currently, up till now, not doing anything else, I have done 73 shows.
73 shows, 18
Plus I keep
years.
a resume of all the shows I've done.
I mean, that's insane because you've been doing it for 18 years.
Yeah.
So if you had 18 times 4, that would be 72. So you've averaged more than 4 per year, which is pretty amazing. So that's, I mean, I don't know how you do that, but more than 4 per year. And you're going to add to your total. You're going to be up to 74 because you were cast yesterday in an upcoming show. What is the show?
Yesterday, Wausau Community Theater had put on their Facebook page the cast list for their summer show, Anastasia. And it's a very big cast, a lot of talent, a lot of familiar faces, and also a lot of new faces. So it's always nice to get people who aren't too familiar with a theater involved in this production. It's a cast of 55 people, so it's definitely going to be quite a show. And there's 7 shows over 2 weekends, so definitely, there's no excuse not to come and see it.
So it looks as though, and I saw the posting yesterday that was put out on Facebook from the Wausau Community Theater. It looks like in terms of you said more than 50 total, but it looks like 14 were like the main cast.
Yeah, I think
I'm looking at right now. 14. Yep.
Main cast. Then there's the featured ensemble and featured roles, and you have the featured dancers as well. And the ensemble is quite huge, which is a good thing because a show is nothing if you don't have a good ensemble. The ensemble is the backbone of any theater.
Absolutely. And the show itself will be not just one weekend, but 2 big weekends. May 30th through June the 1st, and then back at it from June the 6th through the 8th at the UW Center for Civic Engagements, James F. Benega Theater. So, I mean, that's exciting to have 2 weekends where it's not, just one weekend and then it's all done, but 2 big weekends. And
it's not often you get a show with 2 weekends. It's definitely, it's going to be a workout. I definitely have to make sure to stay healthy and drink lots of water, plenty of rest to make sure you we take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. So congratulations on
Thank
that.
you very much.
That is terrific to hear. Congratulations as well to everybody else that was cast in that show. And again, we talk about this all the time, that we're so very fortunate here in the Wausau area in north central Wisconsin to have so many different opportunities. If you're somebody that enjoys live theater, whether it's somebody that likes to be on stage, whether it's somebody that likes to work on productions backstage, whether you're just somebody who likes to go and be entertained, and you see so many different kinds of shows and so many different organizations, both in terms of school groups. The high schools do fantastic shows, as I mentioned. Got coming up, the Wausau West Theater Group will be involved in a production coming up in just a couple of weeks. In fact, I'm going to be reaching out and trying to get some folks to come in and talk about All My Sons, the Arthur Miller classic.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Wausau West Theater and All My Sons coming up on April 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. You were mentioning some of the other independent groups that have shows coming up.
Yeah,
So
the,
if you're somebody that wants to see
Beniga,
shows,
a theater is going to be very busy the next couple of weeks, because first the Children's Theater is doing the Enchanted Bookshop musical. Let me just check the dates here. I know it's in April. It's the 11th, 12th, and the 13th of April, and then a few days after that, at River and Woods is doing their show 9 to 5 at the Beniga Theater on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of April. So there's definitely a lot of theater coming up. So if you're looking for something to do, bring the family out. It's a theater is always a great escape, and it's always fun to watch all the local talent on the area, and just especially musicals, because musicals just make you feel good.
exactly. So congratulations to you. Congratulations to everybody else cast for Anastasia. We'll
a couple of weeks yet, and then we can start those rehearsals, but it should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So we will definitely keep an eye on that, and I'm sure
hopefully the weather is nicer so that I can start wearing shorts.
Yep, as we get closer to that, I'm sure we'll get some folks involved in that production here on the radio station and talking about that as well. So again, always enjoy talking to the folks involved in these productions and trying to get as much publicity out there so people are aware of some of these great shows here in central Wisconsin. Well, coming up, I'm sure many of you heard about the story that Wisconsin couple was part of the big story of, again, ICE and having folks detained. And a Trump supporter from Wisconsin had his wife taken away at the airport, coming back from their honeymoon. Okay, and now he says, well, maybe I question my support. We got to delve a little bit into this, and also the whole idea of some of these folks questioning their support after seeing what Donald Trump and his administration is doing. So we're going to talk about that coming up. The time is 9:18. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
just don't know what to feel. Sometimes I don't know what to feel.
Chad Holmes Show 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Time is 9:21 here on this Tuesday morning. Sometimes I don't know what to feel, and that's what a Donald Trump supporter from the state of Wisconsin may be thinking right now, because his wife has been hauled away by ICE agents led by Donald Trump's administration. So, and this is not new. We are hearing these stories about Trump voters basically waking up to the fact that the president's aggressive anti-immigration politics does affect them too. The man's name is Bradley Bartell. Again, a Wisconsin Trump voter who has been second-guessing his support for the MAGA leader since ICE agents deported his Peruvian wife, Camelia Munoz. Last month, ICE agents stopped the couple at the airport as they returned home from their honeymoon in Puerto Rico. And the ICE agent asked Munoz, "Are you an American citizen?" The answer was no. Munoz, who had been married to Bartell for 2 years and was caring for her husband's 12-year-old son as her own, had overstayed her original visa per USA Today. But the couple felt confident on their flight home since Munoz had applied for her green card, worked on a W-2 contract, and paid her taxes. Then, fearing her wedding ring would be taken from her, Munoz took it off and stashed it in a backpack that she handed to Bartell, who shook as he watched the agents take her away. "What the bleep do I do?" Bartell told USA Today as he thought in that moment. Again, and again, this is the part that I kind of want to focus on. Bartell voted for Donald Trump, believing that the far-right leader would crack down on criminal illegal immigrants. But that hasn't exactly been the case. Instead, Trump's mass deportation policy is expanded to include immigrants whose legal statuses are under review even if they're married to U.S. citizens. The point I want to make, because this story has been told by media sources many times in the last 2 months. Trump voter surprised that they are affected by the anti-immigration policies or the anti-government policies of Donald Trump. You hear about the stories of these folks involved with ICE that they were only going to take away the criminal element, not the people that are here not committing crimes, or the folks that working for the federal government who voted for Trump, who said, I thought they were just going to target those people that were really wasteful government employees. That, yeah, there's ways to cut back on the federal government, but not my job. The idea that these folks, it's only about themselves.
They don't think it's a problem until it happens
exactly
to them. It's like, hey, it's not my problem as long as it happens to somebody else.
It's
That's
about
basically a MAGA mindset. It's like, you know, he wants to do all this stuff. He can do whatever he wants as long as it doesn't affect me, and then it's a problem.
Right.
It's like, that is so just pathetic.
You need to put yourselves in the shoes of others. Because when I heard the stories earlier, when Musk and his Doge came in and started firing people in the federal government, you'd hear these stories. Oh, I knew that there were areas where we could probably cut back, and that's why I supported Donald Trump. But then I got fired. It's almost as though, well, if the person down the hall got fired, this person would be still okay with it. It should not always be about if it occurs to me. Is the policy affecting others as well in a negative way? So again, I don't feel a lot of sympathy, to be honest with you, for those folks who say, I voted for Trump, but I didn't think it would affect me. Well, you should be thinking a little bit bigger than just how it is about you. That's the way I look at
empathy. It's about compassion. It's about helping someone who needs help.
And I guess
the golden rule that we learned in Sunday school.
Yeah.
Treat others the way you want to be treated. Well, that works both ways.
And I guess you could find that, yeah, that people could be fooled because basically Trump, ever since he went down that escalator to start off his first presidential campaign in 2015,
Mhm.
has based his anti-immigrant rhetoric on the falsehood that people who have entered the U.S. are murderers and rapists. That's what he said right from the very beginning, and that they're a drain on the country's economy and government resources as unemployed migrants struggle to obtain work and housing. In reality, undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit crimes than U.S. born citizens. And in 2022, approximately 4.5% of the workforce was undocumented, contributing some $75.6 billion in total taxes, according to the American Immigration Council. But again, none of that matters to the Trump administration. It's all about throwing their weight around, the
Mhm.
hateful policies, and again, the folks who voted for Donald Trump and now are saying, well, I didn't think it would affect me. Part of the deal in being in this system of government is to be aware of what is going on. And again, most, if not all of this information was out there. And yet Donald Trump got these people's votes and they returned him to office after everything that happened in his first term and then in the aftermath of his first term as well. So again, I feel for the pain of these people. But at the same time is you voted for it. There are consequences to your votes. And again, the consequences are being paid by a lot of people, including older people. And coming up, I want to talk again about Social Security and some of the earned benefits that are under attack by this current administration and the people that voted for this now saying, oh, this may affect me in a bad way. We're going to discuss that coming up after an information update. News, weather, and sports all coming up. Again, a winter storm watch goes into effect in about a little more than 24 hours. So we're expecting some significant snow tomorrow. We'll have more on the weather as part of this information update as well. With Ian Welsh, I'm Chad Holmes. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO.
Hello there, this is James.
Melissa,
Chad.
and Seth, inviting you to come work with us. Civic Media is looking for a full-time sales professional to work with existing and new broadcast and digital media clients.
we're a fast-growing company that offers competitive wages, benefits, a relaxed working environment that focuses on quality of life and includes a team of support to reach our shared goals.
Join us in continuing what we have done for 80 years. Be a part of the community, put into the community, celebrate community.
Find out more by contacting Chuck Gennaro at 715-935-8030 or email chuck.gennaro@civicmedia.us. All inquiries are confidential. Civic Media Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer, and we look forward to you joining us.
Hey, Wisconsin, it's construction season, and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones. Check 511wi.gov or download the app for roadwork or closures on your route. Know before you go with 511 Wisconsin. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Life is so strange when you don't know how can you tell where you're going to. You can't be sure of any situation. Something could change, and then you won't know. Where do we go from here? It seems so near, just as far beyond as I can see. I still don't know what this all means to me. I have nowhere to go.
And welcome back, Chad Home Show, 98.9 WXCO, online at WXCO.FM, mobile devices and Alexa by searching WXCO, and on the Civic Media app. Got a listener who sent me a message talking about Mrs. Munoz, the person married to the Wisconsin man who supports Donald Trump. Says, she broke the law. You admit she broke the law. Yep. Technically, yes. But I find it so interesting, these folks who send notes like that, broke the law. They sure don't seem to care when Donald Trump breaks the law over and over and over again, do they?
Fair point.
I mean, Donald Trump was convicted by a jury of his peers to more than 30 felonies. And they don't give a darn about that. They vote him into office.
They brush it off and just say, no, it doesn't matter.
Donald Trump and his administration ignores court orders. They don't seem to care about that. So fine. If you want to go down that road that she broke the law, you admit it, fine. Donald Trump broke the law. And you guys find every excuse to keep him in office, to keep him out of jail, to keep him from serving any kind of penalty for his breaking the law, not just in the last 10 years. His entire life has been that way.
Mm-hmm.
So fine. Talk about Munoz, say she broke the law. But I would really like to see these law and order folks actually acknowledge that Donald Trump has broken the law and was convicted of breaking the law. More than 30 felony charges. More than 30. And those are still on the books. Donald Trump is a convicted felon serving as president of the United States. So, fine. If you want to go down that road, fine. Also, Republicans try to have it both ways when it comes to earned benefits. They try to say, oh, no, we're not doing anything. And yet at the same time, Elon Musk comes out and says that's exactly what they're doing. In fact, Michigan is one of those states, like Wisconsin, considered one of those bellwether states, vitally important states. It was vitally important for Donald Trump when he won the election in 2016 and 2024. And it was very important when Democrat Joe Biden won the election in 2020. Wisconsin and Michigan went one way for Trump and then went another way for Biden. And right now, a very interesting story this morning when it came to this issue at salon.com. Came out just this morning. I was getting ready for the show and I was looking at some different articles. started off by quoting Republican Representative Bill Huizenga. Social Security is not being touched, he said, as he tried to calm his panicked Michigan constituents earlier this month. Salon says the congressman may be misinformed or simply lying. Either way, his words were not true. Social Security is facing an all-out assault from Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, and voters know it. And these are not, again, what Republicans like to say are paid operatives coming to these meetings. There are people that are very concerned about losing their Social Security and other earned benefits. One retiree declared at Huizenga's most recent town hall, held via teleconference, "We worked our entire life, but we can't get any help because we can't get through to anybody." And that is part of the plan. And there's been multiple stories recently about how Musk and the Trump administration is trying to fire anybody that could answer phones or within the office itself to be able to come in and visit. The former teacher featured in an Associated Press report from the weekend detailing on how angry and frightened Social Security recipients are storming town halls, begging their congressional representatives to stop Musk's misnamed Doge from taking away their benefits. And this is a part of the state of Michigan that was very much Donald Trump country. Donald Trump won that part of Michigan with over 60% of the vote. Significant vote for the Republican nominee for president in 2024. But even Republicans are coming to their town halls and begging the Republican representative to save them from the consequences of their electoral choices. And I've been talking about this today.
Mm-hmm.
Again, there are consequences to the choices we make. When
That's
you
why
vote,
every vote matters.
when you vote for a 30-plus time convicted felon who lied when he said that he had no idea what Project 2025 was. I mean, it's pretty amazing how much Donald Trump has got. And I'll say this much. I will say this much. In the first 2 months, in fact, 2 months from Thursday will be the 2-month anniversary of Donald Trump's second administration, as I like to call it, Trump 2.0. I will say this much. He certainly is getting a lot done. It's not because Donald Trump had all this knowledge in his head. He's just going down the line of Project 2025. But again, the folks, they were told about Project 2025. And I guess they believed Donald Trump. And he said, I had nothing. I have no idea what this is all about. New York Times reported yesterday, Musk's Doge is taking its chainsaw to the agency's operations, Social Security Administration, that is, trying to institute mass layoffs and office closures, which could create gaping holes in the agency's infrastructure, destabilizing the program. And again, there have been efforts from Musk and Trump's administration to destroy the phone service. And again, for folks that are older, that's how they want to deal with these questions. They don't want to have to go online, send a note, hopefully get something back in the near future. They want to be able to pick up their phone and talk to somebody about the questions they have. Mm-hmm. If there's a problem with their Social Security payment or anything else. But right now, Musk is trying to eliminate the ability to call up Social Security with any questions. On Monday, yesterday, there was a leaked memo from Trump's management to Social Security workers detailing how the administration is well aware that the planned cuts will dramatically increase demand for office appointments, even as Musk is shutting down offices, making those appointments even harder to secure. The result, according to Trump's own appointees, will be service disruption and delayed processing of payments to retirees. They know what's happening here. This is all part of a operation to make government less efficient, despite the idea that the whole name of the organization is Department of Government Efficiency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
a
again,
Doge, it's more like a dodgy.
Very good. But it's the whole thing again is the same thing as what we started this segment with. These folks, oh, that person broke the law. We're law and order. And then they put into office a person that has been convicted by a jury of more than 30 felonies. The contradictions make your head spin. It's craziness.
They're trying to take away any opposition to, make sure no one questions anything, and make sure that, whatever this man says goes. He's turning our democracy into a monarchy. And I'm sorry to be blunt about that, but it's true. He's taking away all these benefits that people need because he thinks we're saving money or we're protecting America.
Well, along the same lines, when you talk about changing what we are in terms of the system, yesterday on Fox News, Tom Holman came on, who is the person who's basically in charge of the whole deportation program for Trump's administration. And we have seen different court rulings say, hey, you cannot deport these folks overseas. No, stop that. Holman said, we're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think.
Oh, jeez.
But the thing about that is, I don't care what the judges think. The judges and the judicial branch is an equal branch of government in our system. But as you say, turning into a monarchy, turning into a totalitarian government, because he thinks that they don't have to listen to the Congress to the judicial branch.
We have 3 branches of government. This is why where I was a kid. There's 3 branches. There's I can't remember.
The judicial branch, the executive branch, and the legislative
branch, and there's the judicial branch. And it's not one over the other. There are 3 branches that support democracy. Legislative branch makes the laws. Executive branch enforces the laws.
And also,
judicial branch makes sure the laws are fair.
Only got a couple minutes here in this segment. I want to get a couple more points to be made about what's going on here when it comes to the earned benefits. Musk, and I think Salon puts it really well in this article this morning. I would encourage you to check out salon.com. But he says Musk loves to play word games when defending his assault on a program that helps keep millions of elderly and disabled people from falling into poverty. He insists he's merely trying to attack waste and fraud in the program, falsely claiming that $700 billion, that's with a B, $700 billion a year can be categorized this way. Reality-based assessments, according to Salon, show that it's likely less than 1% of that figure for the entire federal government, not just Social Security. To justify this outright disinformation, Musk has insisted that millions of people are getting Social Security checks are definitely dead, and saying that tax dollars are being stolen when that is completely a lie. It's completely false.
A waste of money? How about SpaceX?
Well, that's a whole different conversation.
That's a waste of money.
But again, they're just telling these falsehoods over and over again. And we know what life was like for the elderly before Social Security. They would live in poverty. There would be so much poverty, and also they would have to work jobs they were physically unable to do, incapable of doing, or being forced to basically be taken care of by their families. And I think a lot of Republicans think that's actually okay. Well, that's not the way to live life.
No,
so
it's not.
Again, it's just the information is always there. It's up to us to take this information and use it either to pressure elected officials or at election time vote based on the facts. The time is 9:48. Coming up, we'll have our daily history lesson. We'll talk about some of the famous events on this date. And then we'll also finish things up with our number for the day quiz. And Ian will try to go back to 500 for the week at 1 out of 2. So he's 0 for 1 so far. We'll try to get back to even with a correct answer. That's coming up in 2 minutes. 9:49 is the time. Chad Holmes Show, 98.9 WXCO. It is the 18th day of March of 2025. Time is 9:52. Day number 77 of this year. There are 288 days remaining in this year before we get to 2026. And a number of famous events have occurred on this date in history. On this date in 1893, former Governor General Lord Stanley pledged to donate a silver challenge cup, later named after him, as an award for the best ice hockey team in Canada. Originally presented to amateur champions, the Stanley Cup has been awarded to the top pro team since 1910 and since 1926 only to National Hockey League teams. On this date in 1910, 115 years ago, the first American horror film was patented, a one-reel Edison studio production of Frankenstein. On this date in 1931, electric razors were first manufactured by the Schick Corporation in Stamford, Connecticut. On this date in 1959, President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed a bill into law allowing for Hawaiian statehood, which would become official on August the 21st. On this date in 1970, the NFL adopted a rule that required all players' names to appear on the back of their jerseys. The rule had been borrowed from the merging American Football League. And on this date in 2020, the U.S. and Canada agreed to close the border, the world's longest, to non-essential travel to curb COVID-19. A few famous folks are celebrating their birthdays today. Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs is 63. Vanessa Williams, actor, model, singer, also appeared on Desperate Housewives, and Ugly Betty is 62 years old today. Queen Latifah from The Equalizer and Girls Trip is 55. Comedian Dane Cook is 53. Adam Levine of Maroon 5 and formerly on The Voice is 46 years old today. And Lily Collins, actress, Also the daughter of famous
Collins.
musician. Yep. Phil Collins.
One of my favorite musicians.
Yep, absolutely. So Lily Collins, who's been in The Blind Side, Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile, is 46 years old today. Also, some special events being acknowledged today. It is Awkward Moments Day. It is Forgive Mom and Dad Day. It's International Sports Car Racing Day. It's Welderly, which is Well Elderly Day.
Oh, okay.
It is Quilting Day. It is Sloppy Joe Day.
Sloppy Joes are really good.
Yes, they are. And it is Act Happy Day. I think
You should have to act happy.
I
You
know.
find a way to be happy. You can act happy if you're an actor like me.
Be Happy Day would be better than Act Happy
Yeah.
Day, but it's Act Happy Day. So, and that's the special events being acknowledged here today. All right, time now for our number for the day.
Yes.
Every weekday, we wrap up the show with a number for the day quiz with Ian Welsh. We give Ian 3 choices for the number for the day, 2 of which are incorrect and 1 of which is right. And based on the math, he should get 1 out of 3 correct, which is 33%. So for the week, if he's above 33%, it's a passing grade. If he's below 33%, it's a failing grade. More right than wrong is a winning week.
Yes.
And then his best ever week is 4 out of 5. And our topic today is the NCAA basketball tournament.
That's right.
Because it starts tonight with the first 4 games. So the tournament tips off later this evening.
All right.
All right. Our number for the day is, what is the most points scored by a team in an NCAA tournament game?
Most points scored by a team.
Yep. How many points is the most ever scored by a team in an NCAA men's basketball tournament game?
Okay. What are my choices?
Your choices are 129 points,
Wow.
149 points, 169 points.
That is a lot of points. 129, 149, or 169. The most points ever are scored by a team in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
The record point total was scored in a single March Madness game by Loyola Marymount University against Michigan in the second round of the 1990 tournament. How many points did they score in that game?
129, 149, 169. Well, I mean, to me, any one of those numbers would be impressive. But okay, I'm gonna say
I need an answer.
I'm gonna say 129. I'm going with A. I think that's the record amount of points. I'm going with A as my final answer. 129.
All right. A record total points scored in a single March Madness game by Loyola Marymount University against Michigan in the second round of the 1990 tournament was 149 points.
Oh, the middle number.
Yep.
Doggone it.
I think yesterday was the small number and you picked the middle number, and today's the middle number and you picked the small number.
Yeah. Well,
You're close to 2-0, but you're 0-2.
I got to get back on the winning track.
So we got some work to do, but
Yes, I
we
do.
still got time this week. So we'll get back at it tomorrow.
I'll get back on it.
Of course, tomorrow we'll keep a close eye on the weather as well, with the snow expected to come in later in the day tomorrow. But we'll
Should
have
be
Brittney
interesting.
tomorrow, and we'll make sure to keep us up to speed on that. Ian, have a good rest of your day.
You too, Chad. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Have a great day.
Absolutely. And stick around. Coming up next, it's Mantonair on Air. And we'll be back tomorrow from 8 till 10 right here on 98.9 WXCO.